Well, I think one thing to keep in mind is there's really no normal reaction to this abnormal event.
Mm-hmm. I think coming out of it is what brought us closer as a team.
Healthcare workers oftentimes neglect their own well-being in order to take care of their patients, and so self-care has become a priority. And joining us to talk about that is Elisabeths Garcia and Milena Ortega, both of whom are with the Tribal Health Maintenance Program. Both of you work for Project Launch, a grant-funded program. Let's talk about your experiences with this program during this difficult time of COVID-19 and how you came about practicing self-care. Elisabeth?
Yeah, so I think prior to COVID-19, I really tried to have some kind of routine of self-care, reminding myself when to take those breaks or when to do things for my own mental health. And when COVID happened, I think that kind of just made it more important for me to do that. So some things that I've always tried to do is just listen to music. I think find things that I genuinely enjoy and that take the stress out of the normal working day. And talking to my coworkers, talking to my friends, checking in and, doing things like that. Really just having an open conversation about what we're doing to keep ourselves healthy physically and mentally, I think.
And Wilana, what did you do?
Well, prior to COVID-19, I even have it on my schedule, a self-care 30-minute break. Mm-hmm. And it's just a daily reminder to just be mindful of myself and to check in with me. And lately, I've been doing a lot of mindfulness webinars and reading on mental health. So yeah, a lot of breathing exercises and music and even things like aromatherapy, just like lighting up a candle, that really helped out a lot.
But how did you go about your work? I mean, you were tasked with the responsibility of taking care of the community. At the same time, you got to take care of yourself. Tell us about what that was like, finding a balance, what you did and how you went about it.
Well, I think what's important to talk about is sometimes it's okay not having that balance. I think finding that balance, because I think when we talk about self-care and really reminding ourselves to do it, it can be hard when we're working day to day and we're maybe caught up with the everyday routine. And so it is, it does take time to kind of tell ourselves, let's take 5 minutes, let's take 30 minutes for ourselves and do something. So it was, I think, a little bit of a challenge in the beginning to kind of remind myself, it's okay, let me just, take a 2-minute break, let me reset, let me go outside and take a walk, especially when things were getting a little busy and tense through COVID.
And what's going to happen moving forward, Wilana? What's going to change about the way you approach your job after we get past the hardest part of COVID-19?
Well, I think one thing to keep in mind is there's really no normal reaction to this abnormal event. Mm-hmm. So I think any way we know how to take care of ourselves, I think that will become a priority, is to actually take care of us, ourselves.
And what would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned from this experience during this time?
I think what I learned is how important it is to be a team with your coworkers. I think, through this time we were all together, we checked in on each other. We made sure that not only were, individually were we being mindful of our emotions and our own mental health, but we were really checking in with one another, which I think coming out of it is what brought us closer as a team, and it's what's built us, build our bond and our strength as a team at THMP, because we really did lean on one another. And that's what I think coming out of it is the biggest benefit.
Mm-hmm. And allowing ourselves to have those silly moments, you know,
Mm-hmm.
play music and dance, or maybe cook for one another.
Exactly.
So I think that was very important in our bond and building that morale.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe one of the other things that come out of this is self-care doesn't mean that you're by yourself. Self-care is working with friends, with families, with coworkers, that you're actually taking care of each other at the same time. So you're not alone.
And I think having those open conversations, you know, checking in, even after the weekend, you know, coming as a group, checking in, how was everybody, what did everyone do, and things like that. Because I think even that, in that act of just even talking about it, like, oh, I had a rough weekend, or I had a really good weekend, and this is what we did, or, you know, whatever it was, I think just that is self-care in itself, is just being able to have someone on your team or a group of people on your team that you can go to and talk about whatever it may be. I think that's just in that is so beneficial.
And this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, correct? And we've got some links in the description of this video podcast that you can take a look at and get some ideas as to self-care and what you can do and how you can go about it. And that's going to do it for us for now. We'll see you next week.